Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to be covering iHodl, which is a better way that you can secure your seed phrase that you may be using for Kaspa. So iHodl is a stainless steel card that is completely fireproof, water resistant, and is anti-corrosion. Now this completely replaces the need of having to write down words for your seed phrase and instead enables you to punch holes that are associated to a specific number, and after you add up all the numbers, it will be equivalent to a seed phrase. So if you don't already know, every single word that is a part of the BIP39 protocol is assigned a number. It's in alphabetical order, and with this, you can actually design a hole punch type of seed phrase where if you were to punch the hole that is designated for 1, then that would equal the word abandon. If you were to punch the hole that is designated for 2, that will equal the word ability. Let me go ahead and get a more difficult word here that's down the list. So let's say one of the words in your seed phrase was crisp, and for the word crisp, it is actually assigned number 414. So to get 414, you would need to punch the holes that will equal 414. So you would punch 256, 128, 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. And if you add all those numbers together, you would get 414, and it would equal your word crisp. So I believe this is actually the best way to be securing your seed phrase so that you're not writing down words on a piece of paper that paper is not even resistant to fire and other destructible things. And instead, you're more reliant on these stainless steel cards. So if you were to purchase iHodl, you can actually purchase this with Kaspa if you want to. But if you do purchase iHodl, you will get this box right here. And then once you open it up, this is how the back looks. Once you open it up, you will just basically get 2 stainless steel cards that look just like this. And then basically what you would do is you would take your seed phrase that you have, and whatever word you have, you will look for that word on that list right here and find the hole punches that you would need to make. And you would just make those same hole punches into the stainless steel plate right here, and then that will then tell you what word is your first word. Now there's different ways that you can actually set up this seed phrase that makes it a whole lot more secure. If you're on Windows, iHodl actually has an app that you can use to set up your seed phrase here, and you can actually choose the type of word list you want. So you could do the standard word list. This means that the number 1 is going to equal the first word that's part of the BIP39 protocol, but you can also choose something called reverse, which would mean number 1 actually equals the last word in the BIP39 protocol. And then there are 2 other methods that iHodl lets you choose from, which are scrambled and reverse scrambled, and these are just a different algorithm that was auto-generated so that you can make up these words. So for example, if I was to choose the reverse one and click continue here, you're going to see here that if I decide to select 1 right here, and let me just switch this to the bits mode. If I select 1 right here, it's going to give me the word zoo. It's not going to give me the word abandon like you see over here, where if I was to go to the first word here, abandon would be number 1, but instead if we do it reverse, then zoo is number 1. So that means you can actually do your seed phrase in a different way. So even if someone was to take your stainless steel plate, it is not easy to quickly figure out your seed phrase and know exactly how to put it in, because only you would know the order that you actually put this in. You can even do things like, instead of putting the order of your seed phrase literally in 1 through 12, you could go backwards. You could start from the bottom here and then put in your seed phrase backwards, and only you know if you did that or not. You can even start at number 6 and go down and then go 5 and up for the last few words. So there's just so many different variety of ways that you could set up this stainless steel seed phrase and have a lot more protection, and also just make it much more difficult that even if someone was to steal this, it doesn't mean that they automatically are going to 100% be able to get into your funds. Now, personally, I'm a very paranoid guy when it comes to security and privacy. So personally, I don't trust using this app entirely. So if I was to type in a word here, I have no idea if my computer is actually vulnerable to some kind of malware. and everything I type is actually being tracked, or maybe my screen is actually being recorded right now, there's no way to prove that. And that's why it's always important that if you are working with your seed phrase, you just assume the worst. And that way you can protect yourself from any kind of potential hacks or exploits to get access to your seed phrase. Because remember, your seed phrase is your keys to your wallet. And if anyone has access to that seed phrase, it is pretty much over for your funds. Your funds are vulnerable to be taken. So instead of using the app, it is very useful if you are trying to look for certain words, maybe, because you could use the binary mode, which allows you to just simply select the different numbers and it will tell you which word it is. Now, again, it kind of goes back to the point that you can use this, but you don't know if someone's maybe watching your screen when you're doing this and could still potentially see the words and what order you're trying to put them in. And so the best way that I believe you should go ahead and try to set up your stainless steel seed phrase plate is basically just coming to this website right here and just going to the page where it has all the words and you just manually looking for your word through this list and then punching the hole. That way it's pretty much impossible for anyone to know which words you're choosing here because there's a big selection here. So if you scroll to a certain point and you know the word that you want to punch in, no one's going to easily be able to figure out which one you punched in out of all these words, and then try doing that for 12 different words. It's practically impossible to figure out. Now, this app is currently only available on Windows, and the company behind this app has full intention to make this app open source. But like I said, you can't use the app if you're just not as paranoid as I am. I personally just like to use this list and look through the list to punch the holes in my stainless steel plate so I don't have to worry about anything happening where my words were potentially exposed to the internet. So if you're interested in picking up one of these iHodl seed phrase card packs, it comes with 2. You can use the code KASPASILVER10 at the checkout and you will get 10% off your order. And then, like I said, you can even pay with Kaspa at the checkout. So you don't even need to pay with your credit card or PayPal or anything like that. You could just use your Kaspa to pick these up and they'll cost you about $22.50. Using my code does give me a kickback and it greatly does support this channel. So thank you so much if you guys use that. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. And as always, don't be average, be different.